So let's go back to the beginning of the internet. In the early days of the internet, we had a thing called the information explosion was occurring. This is in the sort of the 60s. And we were stuck with a huge amount of infrastructure that had been built over 100 years by AT&T. So our first impulse was to go for the low-hanging fruit and begin to learn how to compress information so we could send it, all this information, compress it, conserve it, get efficient about it so that we could squeeze it through the pitiful infrastructure that we had left over from the telephone network. That is, the first impulse in the early days of the internet was efficiency and conservation. Does that sound familiar? So here's the big question. We've just built the internet. Do we use less bandwidth now than we did before we built the internet? Like half. No. Do we use like 50% more bandwidth than before the internet? Do we use double? Do we use 10 times? Who knows what the number is? It's probably 1,000,000 times more. So, going out on the limb again, if the internet is any guide, when we solve energy, we're going to be using more of it, not less. In fact, the term I like is we will have a squanderable abundance of energy when we're done. Now, if you weren't annoyed until now, you should really be annoyed. Because the entire mindset, I find, of the energy, of the green energy movement is that somehow we're going to use less energy. But I claim, by analogy with the internet, that when we're done, we're going to be using more, a lot more. We will have a squanderable abundance. Now, does this mean I think efficiency is a bad thing? No. This is my new car. I traded a 12-cylinder Mercedes for this 3-cylinder Mercedes. And that's not my wife. My wife is better looking than that. But that is exactly my car. It's my midlife crisis car. It's a red convertible. I am already dissatisfied with the mileage. That car gets about 38 miles per gallon, and it's not enough for me, so I'm looking for the next car to get. Of course, the car I'm interested in getting might look like one of these. This is a bit of a digression, but the internet's going to help us do robo-transport on demand. Since I'm in the valley, you know user interfaces, you know how we complain about the user interface of Windows? It's terrible, or of Unix, terrible. Here's a user interface for you. You put your hands on it like this, and you get up to about 60 miles an hour, and then if you go like, just go like this, you kill your entire family. So that is a user interface that needs attention. So in my lifetime, I predict that in my lifetime, and mind you, I'm only at my midlife crisis, so that gives me 63, in the next 63 years, we will no longer have driver's licenses. We will no longer have to go to the DMV over there on California Street. I think that's the street, because we will have robo-transport.